Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to my weekly leg day workout split. We're going to start here with my standard dynamic warm-up glute activation. All exercises of 1 minute of work, no rest, back to back. If we do something on one side, we repeat it on the other. Let's go. We're all warmed up. Let's get into day one, which is typically on a Monday. Monday is unilateral leg day. All exercises are done 4x10. I call it 4. Let's go. All right, team, our first exercise is Bulgarian split squats. With the Bulgarian split squat, I am using the Smith machine in 2 ways. 1, to support my ankle. You see I have a pad on the back, and then 2, to support my arm on the standing leg, which is the working leg, so I can use heavier weight and make sure I am stable and really trying to take as much of the quad out of it and really make this a glute focused exercise. See how I'm leaning forward to make sure we're getting the full stretch of that glute. All right, team, second exercise and first superset of the day is a lateral lunge with a squat step back. The first move is long, and then the second move is short. I am using 2 plates today to create a deficit to have gravity working against me, so I am working a little harder. Also want to note that we are working from the top down, from our hardest exercise to our easier exercises, so that we are expending our energy correctly. All right, team, third superset and third exercise of today is a RDL, single leg RDL with a deep reverse lunge. So we're using the Smith machine again for a little bit of support so we can go heavier on the weight. So I like to make sure that I'm going down and back, bending my knee a little bit on both knees, and then try to go into that deep lunge and trying to keep that, when you do that shoulder, rotate that shoulder back. There you go, don't let that shoulder drop. All right. Here's a back view of the exercise. Make sure when you are completing the rep, you are squeezing and doing a slight hinge at the top. This is the end. Y'all forgive my singing, but we have reached the end of the road. We have our final superset and final exercises, which are a glute medius kickback and a cable hip abduction. Make sure you pick a weight that you can control, slow and controlled, not too heavy. And you are kicking back and out and up. Don't kick too high, and try to keep your back and your core nice and steady. So you're kicking back, and at the end you are doing like an external hip rotation. So getting more of that side booty hitting that glute medius. All right, here's our final exercise for day 1. It's our cable hip abduction. We pull back, create tension, step one foot over the other. We have our toe of the working leg pointed towards the heel of the standing leg, and we are pulling out and up. This gives that booty the more rounded booty look, that upside down heart shape that we're all going for, or some of us are going for the shelf. But yeah, day 1 complete. Before we roll up out of here, let's make sure that we cool down. So I do a warm up and a cool down for every single workout that I do, just to make sure that I am keeping my range of motion, keeping my joints lubricated, preventing injury, all of the above, getting my resting heart rate back down, or my heart rate back down to resting. I'm not going to show any more warm-ups or cool downs in this video, but please make sure you are doing both. They are very vital to your progression, to your joint health, all of that. All right, now that we got day 1 complete, let's get on to day 2. Day 2 is typically a Wednesday, and day 2 is all about heavy compound movements. Let's get into it. First up, Romanian deadlifts. I start with these because this is the hardest exercise for me on this day. When you are doing your deadlifts, make sure your knees are rotated out. Imagine that your feet are pressing the floor away. This is a hip hinge movement, so imagine something's right behind your glutes and you are barely grazing them. When you pull up the bar, you are rotating your shoulders back and you are hinging, and you're only going down as far as you feel the stretch in your glutes and hamstrings. This is not a stiff leg deadlift. This is a Romanian deadlift, so we are not going all the way down, and make sure you keep the bar close to your shins. I did 6 sets here, multiple reps, multiple weights. All right, team, we have exercise 2 here on day 2. We have our hip thrust. I did 4 sets here. I went heavy on this exercise right out the gate because I was already primed up from those deadlifts. Make sure whether you're using a traditional bench or a platform that it's comfortable right under your shoulder blades, that your chin is tucked and you are looking forward and you're pressing away from the ground. At the end of the set, I held the last rep for as long as I could. All right, on to exercise 3. All right, team, final exercise of the main event are back squats. Before you try to do free bar back squats, make sure you get acclimated on the Smith machine. Like any exercise, make sure your feet are pressing into the ground, your heels, your knees are pointed out. You are going down, slow and controlled, tucking in your pelvis, holding in your core, looking forward and doing a slight pelvic tilt at the top. Just stand straight up. Do not lunge forward. So think pressing into the ground. Anytime you're squatting, make sure your hips break before your knees break. So see your hips, then your knees. Okay, then we go right into our traditional superset finisher phase 1, which are glute medius kickbacks, and then our cable hip abduction. We do these every day we train. And make sure with the crossover kickback on that back foot, you have your big toe pointed in towards your other foot. All right, team, final finisher and final exercises of the day, traditional and glute focused back extensions. With traditional back extension, your toes are pointed forward, your feet are shoulder width apart, your hips are pointed into the mat, thrusting into the mat, and you are coming all the way up at the top of the exercise to complete the rep. Really engage your core, come up with your core and your glutes. This helps give you that tapered look in the back of your back. Here we have glute focused back extensions. Same concept. Hips are thrusting into the mat, except your back is rounded, thinking you're making a C shape as you come up, and your toes are pointed out in sumo stance, and you end the rep at the top of the glute. You do not come all the way up. We've made it to day 3, cable leg day. Our main workout today will be a cable RDL good morning combo, a cable squat, and cable pull throughs. And we finish how we usually do with our superset glute medius kickback and cable hip abductions. And then we finish with our traditional back extension and our glute focused back extension. Let's go. All right, team. First exercise of day 3, we have our cable RDL good morning combo. I call it that because that's what it looks like when I go back and look at the footage. But my goal is to really just be doing the RDL. So you create tension on the cable, and you are using your body to push and pull the pulley mechanism to create the rep. This is a hip hinge movement, so imagine something being right behind your glutes and you're just trying to gently push it, holding in your core, sucking that gut, sucking that butt. Don't forget to breathe. Do not pull on the rope, the pulley, the bar, whatever you're using, because that will include more upper body, and that's a great full body exercise. But our goal today are glutes, legs, and hamstrings. All right, team, exercise number 2, cable squats. Same concept here. You're going to create tension on the rope. So pull back, bar, whatever apparatus you're using. I have my knees pointed out, my heels firmly planted into the ground, and I am using my core and my glutes and my legs to push and pull the cable. If you use your arms, that's a great full body exercise, but you won't be getting the glute workout that you desire. So this also includes lots of core, and as you see, the rope is the last thing that I come and pull to me at the top of the exercise. So think up and back, up and back. All right, team, final exercise here. Our main event are cable pull throughs. With your cable pull throughs, you're doing the same as you did before, creating tension on the mechanism you're using to pull. You are using your core, your glutes, your hamstrings to pull the pulley through. The pulley should be the last thing that you pull through. The goal is to use your body to create the tension in the pulley system. In your mind, this is similar to a hip thrust. Even though it is a hip hinge, you think forward motion. All right, team, we have our traditional finishers here today. I fancied it up a little bit by adding some plates to the workout. Sometimes you want to give things a little bit of variety. We have our glute medius kickbacks and our cable hip abductions. Again, with these glute medius kickbacks, you are kicking back and then you are kicking out, up and out, making sure you're going slow and controlled and using a weight that you can be steady with. You don't want it to be too heavy, and you also don't want it to be too light. This is the kind of exercise you feel after about 6-7 reps. All right, team, we have our cable hip abductions. With our hip abductions, you create tension on the cable. You step over, right? And then you are using on that back leg, you are using that big toe pointed towards that other heel, and you are kicking up and out, slow and controlled movements. Again, making sure you're using a weight that's challenging, but not too challenging that you can't be steady with your kickback abduction lift. Team, last superset of the week, traditional back extensions with glute focused back extensions. With traditional back extensions, our toes are pointed forward, feet are shoulder width apart. We're using our core, our glutes and hamstrings, pushing our hips into the mat and coming all the way up, and our back is flat. I'm using a 10-pound weight here. Body weight's good. I feel like this is one of those exercises that you don't need a lot of weight to get a lot of results. I usually do like 3 sets of 12, 3 sets of 15, 4 sets of 10. Sometimes I do rounds. It just depends on how I'm feeling. And here we have our glute focused back extension. Hips thrusting into the mat. Your back is rounded. Think you're making a C shape when you're coming up and down, and your toes are pointed out to the extent that you can. Push through your heels, but definitely use your core to push in your hips into the mat. Again, thanks for watching. We made it to the end of the week, team. Alright, y'all. It's a little bit of flip. Oh, it's more than a little bit. Let's see. Wow. Alright, y'all. Another sweaty Saturday in the books. Alright, team, I'm putting the menus back up here just in case you didn't get a chance to see them for real in the beginning. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.